Okay guys, so today we will see how to use layers in Zbrush. So right now I'm taking a sphere here and let's fill white color. Let's make it polymesh 3D. So right now we have a sphere here, a simple sphere, and let's divide a couple of times by using Ctrl T button. And let me open my pen as well so I can tell you sometimes by writing on the screen. Okay, so I think many people has trouble while using the layers as well, so that's why I'm going to make a video on this as well. So in this layer palette basically we store our details. Actually you can store your details while sculpting, and then you can edit or play with them by tweaking their strength value, or maybe you can inverse the details as well. You can hide them, you can unhide them, so it's mean you have a lot of control here. So let's say create a layer here. So this is the button for creating a new layer. So now we have a new layer here. The name is untitled layer. So name you can tweak from here. You can just come and hit on the name, and now you can write anything like test layer. And now you can see here, we can see the name test, and one you can see in the suffix. So that one is the strength value actually. So by default every layer has strength value 1, means full. So this has the 1 strength value. And right now if you see, there is a small icon here, REC means recording. So right now this button is saying that whatever you are going to do or whatever you are going to sculpt on your screen, that is going to record on within this layer. So now let's do something and try, and let's see what happens. So BCB create brush. So if you hit BCB you will get labeled brush. So let's say I want to sculpt something. Let's say I want to sculpt this, and let's say I want to sculpt a little bit more like this. So I just made anything, and it's nothing actually. I just made some stroke, but let's test it now. So right now, if once you think that you are done with your sculpting, and now you want to play with the intensity, or maybe you want to see how it looks with the inverted value, so you can come here and switch off the recording. You have to first turn off this. So turn off. So when you will hit on that button, now you will get something like this. So this button is again for recording the layer. If you again want to record your strokes, you have to click on this button, this round button, which is right now looks like a little bit dull because right now it's off. So you have to hit on this and see again recording switched on, and now you can again work on. But right now I don't want to work further. I just want to see okay what we have in this layer. So let's switch off this, and you can see there is one more highlighted option, visible option here. So this for visibility, it means if you switch off this option, you can see there is nothing now. It means you can hide those details, which is actually pretty good. You can again hit on this button and you can see your details back. So it's a pretty good thing. And now you can even play with the intensity here. So you can just come and you can play with the intensity, and you can see the value, that suffix value, it's now decreasing. And you can see on the viewport that even my details or our details are also getting weaker or harder like that. You can even invert if you do, or if you move the slider to minus value. See right now it's minus 0.3 something, and now you can see that the depth was converted into bumps, and those bumps is now converted into depth. So completely inverted, and you can make it -1 as well like that. Again I want to make it 1. Okay, fine, cool. So in this way you can use these layers, which is pretty good. Now let's create another layer. So create new, and let's name it test 2. So test 2. So now we have test 2 here, Let's do one more thing. Let's use move brush. So hit B on the keyboard, and now let's use move brush, and let's pull some details like this. So if you are using layers, and maybe sometime you are making some horns or maybe any detail which is out of the surface like this, so you can store these details as well in a layer, and you can see the magic now. Just come here, turn off this, and now you can decrease the length, and you can make them more smaller. Again, if you want to make them longer, you can do by tweaking with the value. So let's come here and see. Yay. So if you want something like this, maybe keep it. If you want something like this, keep it. If you want something like this, keep it. If you want something like this, skip it. Or maybe you can want to invert, you can do like that. But again, it's not looking good actually. So again, let's make it plus. Means you can do actually, it doesn't matter it looks good or not. If you want it, you can do it actually. But fine. So let's move it again. So that's how you can decrease or increase these kinds of things. It's a pretty great control over your mesh or detail. So now we have used this thing as well, or this thing as well. And now let's do one more thing. If you see this button here, select up, it's for moving your selected layer towards upside. So let's say I want this test 2 layer on the first place. You can hit on this button, boom, and now see your sorry, this is not for this is for selection only. So you can see right now when I hit it on this button, now my test 1 layer is being selected. Means right now you can switch on recording and you can work on this particular layer. If you want to select the downward layer, you can come and you can hit on this second button, boom, and now see test 2 is now selected. It means now if you hit if you want to go on detailing on this second layer, you can just hit recording and now you can work on this one as well. And then we have this guy, this move up and move down. So I was little confused here, so it doesn't matter. So now let's come here. So move up and move down. So move up means you can move this button slightly onto the top. If you, let's say I want this layer at number 1 place, so you can just hit on this button, boom, and now see test 2 is on the top now. And if you want to move it down, again, boom, and now see test 2 is now bottom layer. So that's how you can select upward or down. You can move your layer up or down with these buttons. So you have a lot of control over these buttons here. And then we have duplicate option. You can even duplicate your layers. Notice one thing, when you will duplicate your any layer, the intensity will be double. It means let's hit on this, boom, on this button, boom, yeah. So now if you see, the intensity is completely doubled. You can see the height, it's almost double. And so whenever you are duplicating any layer, it means you are going to get double hardness or double height, whatever you had before. You can delete as well. Suppose now I want to delete it, so you can delete, and now see, let's delete it. And here you have invert option, means you can rather than using these values, you can directly invert your details from here. See, like that, okay. So it's a shortcut kind of, rather than moving in this way, you can just come and do this like that. So that is the trick for doing this. And then we have merge down, very simple option. Select any top layer and then you can merge these both layer in the same. So let's say I want to merge this and this with this together actually. So then let's come here and hit on this merge down option. So hit on merge down, and yeah, so now we have a single layer and everything is being stored in the same layer actually. So if you see, now we have only one layer with the combined details. So that's how we can use this. Then we have one another option here, split layer. It's actually for something like let's say you have select your standard brush. So right now we have a standard brush here. Select your RGB and let's say I want to switch on the recording as well. Let's say I want to poly paint this in this layer, and let's choose the color reddish, and now let's make something like this. So I made something like this, some detail with poly paint, but later I want to keep this poly paint in a separate layer. So that time what you can do, you can switch this button on, and this poly paint will be in a different layer. But right now this is switched off because right now you are in recording mode, so you have to switch off first. So switch off first, like that, and now see it's activated. So now you can hit on this button, boom, and now see test paint. Now poly paint is in a different layer, and those details are in a different layer, like that. So that's how you can play with all these things. And you can actually bake all means if you want to bake everything, every detail, every layer detail on your default mesh, then you can do it. So normally you don't have to do until you don't need everything in your default mesh, but in case if you need it, you can do actually. So bake all, and then boom, and now you can see everything, every layer has been deleted, and now these details has been projected on our real mesh. So undo this, Control Z. That's how you can play. You can anytime change the values. See, you can anytime customize the values, anything like, let's say 0.5. So on multiple layers, like right now if you see in this layer we have 0.8 value, in this layer we have 0.5 value, it's fine, it will work, no problem, like that. You can also make some blend shapes, or you can say you can also do some facial expressions as well by using the same layer technique. Means how you can come, let's open this thing, and let's open any scene, let's say this. So this is a female head given by Zbrush only. So let's work on this one, because right now we just have to see the purpose, that's all. So create a new layer, and now let's say we want to make her angry, and we want to make a blend shape as well. So you can come and hit a new layer, name it like blend shape, and now you can come here, you can use your move brush or any brush, whatever you like. So let's say, let's make her more angry like this, move the nose a little bit up and downward the lips slightly, and now you can see she's looking more aggressive. And the beautiful thing is now you can play the layer. You can come here, switch off the recording, and now just play with this value, and you can see the whole animation. Yeah, see, like that, like that. And if you inverse this layer, so if you invert means if you go in minus value, your this animation is going to invert as well. Means see how, yeah, something like this. So it's crazy actually, it's a pretty good thing, interesting thing actually. You can enjoy, you can play like that. Cool. So when you are done, you can actually export these blend shape to Maya or something, any other software as well. And let's say how Z plugin, and then you have to go in so Maya blend shapes, and now you can just export your blend shape from here. So I just want to export my this layer only. So right now you have to select this one, like if you have to select your selected layer only, like if you suppose you have only one layer here, and if you want to just export that layer blend shape only, then you have to use selected. If you have multiple layers here, let's say 2 or 3, and in all of them let's say in 2 you have the visibility on, then only and if you want to only export those 2 layers animation or blend shapes, then you have to switch on visual. And if you have suppose 4 layers here and you want to export every 4 layer animation, then you have to select all. So right now visual is fine for us. Export blend shapes, and it will automatically launch your Maya. Sorry. So use this layer technique and let me know how you guys feel, and do you guys think that now you have some better control over these layers. So now let's we have this model here on our grid, and let's switch off the grid. Might takes a little bit time. Okay, switch off. Fine. And now you can see we have the animation, we have the blend shape in our Maya. And now you can do blend shapes here, you can do animation as well by using these values, and do whatever you want. So that's the overall thing. Today we learned here about layers. So I hope you guys like the video. So if you guys like the video, please like, comment and share as well, and in that please subscribe the video, subscribe the channel as well. It will help me to support or to build these kinds of videos more and more. So let's meet in the next video. We will meet in the next video now. Till then, bye bye, take care, love you guys.